Right, I am now off to work. It's a Sunday. I'm off to work to get the windscreen done because I was told it was a Monday. I had a phone call from Autoglass. It's going to be replaced under warranty, but a phone call from Autoglass saying, don't think anyone's rung you, but your appointment was going to be Monday, is that alright? And I said yes. And then I got an email Friday saying, just to confirm, your appointment is Sunday. So they sound the same, so perhaps they did say Sunday. Anyway, just got a text message, it's going to be there in 15 minutes time. Got to get there. So, second windscreen fitting of the year. Okay, well that is the crack. Getting bigger and bigger. Well, the windscreen's there again anyway, the old leaf. An hour and a half to wait. Well, she is all done. We got no crack here anymore. Thank goodness. And that tape's a bit lower as well, I just noticed. You can't see the tape, in fact. Interesting. Anyway, brand new windscreen. It's been left about 45 minutes after the job was done. Fixed again. We are back down and we are moving the Polo. Again, gone back to that little adventure. It's been 4 weeks since I last came down here. As you can hear, it's running. Got it running. There's my view. Couldn't see it very well last night because it was night time, but it's got a few issues with the spiders and the whatnot. Just a bit. Anyone want to buy a tax disc? They're going for a lot on eBay for some weird, strange reason I can't quite understand. But there's not that much mould on it, which is quite nice. Less than my leaf. Well, look at that. Whoa, there's a massive spider there. And another one there. It's infested with spiders.
They've been burnt alive.
It's all heating up. But to get in there was like oh, look at that. In the dry. That'll last another 10 years now. The old leaf hatchback. What? It's worse than the Polo.
Yeah, I was going to say, something's been there 3 years.
49,000 miles. So I'm in Gloucester, Asda, and it's been charging for about 10 minutes, which is brilliant. Just waiting for Amy to do some shopping, getting some Easter eggs and stuff. And yeah, came in on 66%. We'll see what it is by the time she's finished. Ooh, I can remove. Removed. And removed. 66 to 74, which is pretty good for a 30-minute stop, something like that. Probably going to be a little wobbly with the camera, but there's a Tesla just going past me now. 90D.
Take the exit H on your left, then there is a roundabout. Take the second exit.
Oh, it looks like it's got a very wobbly front tyre, front trim or something. Real wobbly. Wowee, that's going to come off. Front trim on his wheel. Something wrong with that. Don't know what. I think it's an alloy though, so strange. Oh, good morning. Leave work pretty early, as you can see. But I thought I'd get some quick notes down on video. So it's been quite a while since I've recorded. Got a lot going on, so it's quite difficult to get this particular vlog in. But I thought I'll do this now. I've got a follower, Phil, who will be watching this, who bought a Tesla. And this is a quick summary. What I'll do is I'll put in the description the details of this, the full details. he's now gone public with this a couple of weeks ago, actually. So some of you may already know this story, but he has a Tesla. Did have a Tesla. That was, I think, approximately, so full details below, approximately 9 months old. It was parked up, and it set fire to itself. It wasn't on charge, it was completely on its own. The way he's been treated and the experience he's had with Tesla is well worth a mention. It's well worth a mention because I very rarely, especially on social media, see any negativity around Tesla, apart from people who don't know anything about electric cars. So that aside, people say, oh, you're burning coal anyway, that sort of stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about their customer service and direct involvement with the company itself. So I'll try and summarise it. When he first received the car, it arrived, the paintwork was in such a poor state that it took a car detailer, I think it was 1 or 2 weeks, to sort the car out. It was so bad. And that detailer, I think in the description I'll also have, I probably won't have a link to his Facebook page, but anyway, he's got hundreds if not thousands of videos of cars that he details. Almost daily he's uploading videos. So he's not a novice, he's not someone who doesn't know what he's doing, and his experience probably counts for something. He was saying that was the worst he's ever seen from a brand new delivered car. He says it's like someone gone over it with sandpaper. Anyway, so that was one of the issues after he picked up the car. The other thing was that car, and this may be the reason the paintwork, was in a back room somewhere. So when he went to pick it up, there was no grand reveal, no weird, let's pull the cover off, there you go. Phil? No, it wasn't like that. It was your car's in the back there. That's what it was, in a back room, and that's what it felt like. There was no grandeur. And it's not the end of the world, is it? Let's be honest. But when they pump it up, it's going to be like that through their marketing videos, not theirs, other people's marketing videos that they make for them. That's what you kind of come to expect, then, don't you? There's a level. And secondly to that, Mum and Dad bought a Dacia Sandero, was it? Or Dacia, as it's pronounced, I think. They bought that. It was £99 deposit, £99 a month, to go alongside the Leaf, their long distance car essentially for any emergencies, or if one of them was out in the Leaf. They had a reveal, had a bow on it and a cover over it. So I don't think there's a lot to expect when you spend upwards of £60,000 on a car, that there would be some sort of grandeur involved. I think that's part of the experience. So that was a bad start, and that was probably the omen to the whole saga, to be honest. So after that, it caught fire anyway, so it set fire to itself. Essentially, it was sat there. The forensic report points to I think it's called a condensing unit in the front bumper. It's front left-hand side. So yeah. So that happened, and because it's an aluminium body, of course, it ripped straight up through the bulkhead and through into the car, and it burnt a hole down half side of the car, basically. It's a complete and utter write-off. Now, the insurance company weren't that keen on helping Phil recover the loss in terms of the value of the car. They offered him a small amount of money in comparison to the new price that he paid for it just 9 months previously. And Tesla weren't interested, really. Phil was without a car for, I think, 5 weeks, so literally no transport at all, not an offer of a courtesy vehicle, nothing like that. So on it went, so no money, no car, and no seeming resolution to it. I think a forum member pointed Phil to a paragraph in his insurance document, which is what kind of pushed their hand in the end, saying that if the car was less than 12 months old, it'd be replaced. So once he found that out, he was able to get covered by the insurance company, who then claimed they would probably chase Tesla for the full payment. Since then, the insurance company apparently has got in cahoots with Tesla and will offer a Tesla insurance to people. So I don't think that's going to go anywhere anymore, which is an interesting one. So anyway, loads and loads of problems. The insurance company then said they're going to pay it. Of course, the price of the car had jumped up substantially, so it's now even more mental money than it was originally. It's gone up, whatever it was, £15,000 or something stupid. Some people's yearly pay. So it's gone up, and so the insurance company's like, oh, it's gone up. But anyway, they covered this, and they ordered the car, and was told that it would be fast-tracked because of all the problems he's had, which they hadn't helped previously in any shape or form towards They did eventually give him a courtesy car. That courtesy car, Phil popped round and saw me in that courtesy car. It was a white Tesla Model S. I took some photos of it while I was there because the panels on that car were all over the place. It stuck out like a sore thumb. I sort of arrived and thought, that doesn't, half of that body doesn't look straight. Anyway, took some photos of it, still got my drive, not knowing this whole saga, just thought that's really weird. Anyway, so we had that, ordered the car, it was going to be fast tracked. Cut long story short, this fast tracked car took longer to prepare than the one he originally bought. And at that point, he rang them up and said, what's going on? It's supposed to be fast tracked to help me out. For all the problems I've had, I don't help me out. The car that you pay for is going to arrive quicker by a couple of weeks. That's a great gesture, isn't it? So it didn't. And as far as I can see, and my assumption is, I may be wrong, that it actually wasn't done, wasn't ordered, wasn't built at all, wasn't even going to be built. They just forgot it accidentally. So they happened to ring him back about half an hour later and say, oh, we've got a car coming in to the showroom. It's a showroom model, whatever they want to call that. And he can have that. It's basically more or less the same spec as yours. It has the winter pack or something. Anyway, a couple of extras on it. Extras. I can't go into detail on that. Phil knows more about it actually. But he was saying that the extras are in. Total value, he didn't really gain hardly anything out of it anyway, so it's not like he had this massive upgrade. He didn't get a P90D or P100D as a compensation for his car setting itself on fire. So there's that. He got that car. It had the upgrade alloys on it. When he pointed that out, he said, oh, it's got the upgrade alloys. They went, you can't have those, you need to swap them out. And he also didn't want them anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. But they had that was the first thing. Didn't have the same wheels as he had. Next thing he noticed was that some of the bodywork wasn't level. Boot in particular, the boot, when you press the button, jolts as you opens up. It sort of distorts a little bit and then vibrates and bounces a bit. So that went in for that almost straight away. So he got the car and almost straight away, paintwork was fine by the way when it arrived this time. Straight away had to go for that, and they messed about for ages. I think it was in for 2 weeks, and in the end they had to order a new tailgate from California or wherever it is, Fairmont is it? They had to order a tailgate and then bring it down to replace it. So they've done that. When he got that back and he received the car back, I've jumped a little bit here because there's actually more to this saga. When he opened the boot, he's surprised to see a load of footprints all over the carpet inside. So where the dirty boots had been, it's just like clunk, 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 all over it. And at that point, that's when he went public. But jump back a little bit. When he got that car, it started making a noise from the front left-hand side of the bumper. How strange, you say to yourself, because his previous car caught fire, seemingly for no reason whatsoever, only to find out that it was something in the front left-hand side of the bumper. So he got that taken straight to Tesla, because that obviously isn't right. And what they did is they cut a little bit off a flap, apparently. Hacked it off and refitted it. So there we go. Good engineering. Just cut that off, put that back in again. 80 grand car. So they did that. But a bit strange that problem came to start with. So straight away he had a problem initially when it arrived, and then he had a problem with the tailgate as well that he noticed a couple of weeks later. When he popped down to see me in the new Tesla, which he's excited to have, I also noticed that as he opened it, I was like, what the heck's that all about? So there's more to that story than those few highlighted things. But in short, the attitude has been awful. Customer service has been awful. Literally not interested. I don't know, but I would have thought for such a new company, Elon Musk would definitely have known about that car catching fire. If he didn't, there's something seriously wrong. It went to the head of Europe. So I presume he reports to Elon Musk, or at least a right-hand man to him. So if he didn't know about a car that was sat completely unattended, locked up, not on charge, that just caught fire, there's something seriously wrong there. And there's also something seriously wrong with the Model S itself, if it can set itself on fire. I love Tesla. From the experience that he's had over the last year and a half, there's no way I'd buy one. Not for another 5 years, until you can be completely confident they've got their act together, because they have, yeah, it's been pretty rubbish. let's be honest. And that's an understatement. Just the issue of your car setting itself on fire, it would, for me, would go, right, probably won't get another one. But of course he was forced into it, really. Park? Weird. This thing's gonna break down now. We can go into park. You heard me tapping that, that was park. It's in park now. Yeah, just that, but of course he couldn't because of the insurance. Insurance would give him, I think, 40k or replace the car. It's not like they'd give him 60k, 70k, whatever he paid for the original car. Yeah, so you're kind of stuck. You either lose that money and go, well, that was ridiculous, I just wasted £20,000 in 9 months, or you take the offer of the new car, so you're sort of forced into it, and then you get but even then there was hope in the fact that that's it then. For another 10 years you got worry-free motoring, but of course it's not. You know, but immediately started running into problems again. It's like, wow. And then that with the demo one having panels out of alignment, it's just, I don't know, not great, is it? There are people that are going around with Teslas absolutely fine. Have they noticed their misalignment of the panels? I do not know. But there must be, what makes me very suspicious is I know one person that owns a Tesla that I've met in person. And that is Phil, and his car has caught fire. So 100% of people I know that own a Tesla is caught fire. What I'm finding hard to believe that there's no one else. There's only 5 other times this has happened. Or 10, I'm not saying there's actually 5, but a very minimal amount. So yeah, I've known about this for ages, and I would say poor Phil, I kept advising him, go public with it, go public with it. Because he wanted to give them a chance and hope that they would come out massively in favour of sorting them out. But not really, no. It's just sort of meh, brushed under the carpet, brushed under the carpet. And obviously they were dealing with someone that's completely disillusioned with the whole thing. And so would I. I mean, if it was me, I would have gone over the car initially with an absolute fine tooth comb, and I would not have taken it. I just wouldn't take it. If I could actually spend that money on a car, there's no way. I want everything to be absolutely perfect. And I think I'd have probably made them to bring it out and put it under a cover and put a bow on it and say, right, now can we do the reveal, please, and stand there until they've done it. Just because I would be absolutely disgusted by the attitude. I just think it's the money. It's the money, you know. It's not a cheap car, and when you put it in parallel with the Dacia Sandero, you know, come on, if they can do it for £99 a month, I think you can do it for 60 to 70,000 pounds. Yeah, and all the other things. You expect the customer service to be a heck of a lot better. There's another article I found, which I'll link if I can find it again. I found last night that someone posted up to do with stealth, basically essentially warranty repairs to the Tesla Model S, which seems to be going on, according to some user accounts that are now coming onto forums, because forums is where the complaining goes on. Social media along Tesla's posts, you don't see a lot of complaining there at all, which makes me very suspicious. Again, you got forums where people complain about certain aspects of Tesla ownership. You don't see them complaining on Tesla posts, which is odd. It does strike me strange, because the first place people go to complain about something, not to praise usually, it's usually like 90% of people complaining and 10% are praising. So you just see the polar opposite. So I just find that odd. And we've got physical evidence of terrible service on multiple levels and multiple mistakes. It's not like Phil had a car that caught fire and that's the beef with them. It's thing after thing after thing after thing after thing after thing, and it literally like that, after thing after thing. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Yeah, and now he's got a funny rattle coming from the suspension unit, I think, is what he wrote to me a couple of days ago. With the closing statement, don't buy a Tesla. Yeah, interesting one. I will try and sort pictures out of the fire. Actually, I can just overlay them on this video. So here we are. Here's the pictures of Phil's Tesla on, well, after it caught fire. Deemed not to be arson or anything like that. Starting from the front left-hand bumper, kind of see from the pictures the state of the damage to the fire. There's a sub point to this as well of all this hassle. It damaged cars next to Phil's car where it's parked. Those people were not impressed. I think he was at his mum's, I think, and it was parked near them, or it might have been out near his place. But they came around knocking on the door quite aggressively, and the police had to be called. because they were saying basically, what are you going to do about this damage to my car, because they couldn't use their cars either. And of course the answer is, well, it's with the insurance company, I'm really sorry, there's not a lot I can do about it. So yeah, there it is. And then this is the photo, hopefully I found it, if not you can just see my face. This is the photo of the boot marks all over the boot once he had the tailgate repaired. So yeah, and the company's name, I'm not sure, I'll put it below, who are the detailers, if you want to write to them and verify, or go and visit their Facebook page and see the hundreds and hundreds of cars that they detail. Do that. But I thought I'd do this on the end of this video because it's actually been annoying me for quite a long time, and it was only, I didn't want to mention it without Phil's permission, so there you go. Pretty bad. Phil probably would comment on this video, and if you want to chat to him on the comments here, you can do. That's the only way I can think. I'm not giving out his private details. So if Phil, you want to comment below and say I'm the guy that owns a Tesla, and then people can ask you as many questions as they want. I'm sure you'll be happy to reply to them with the terrible service that you received, and sort of demonstrate that better than probably I have done. But that's a brief overview of it, and I would just say be very cautious if you are thinking of owning a Tesla. A Tesla out of warranty, I would hate to be in that situation. Well, I suppose at least it's lasted that long, so it probably isn't going to catch fire, or break down maybe, so more chance perhaps. But just be cautious. Don't. I was involved in the hype of Tesla, and you think, oh, and you get carried by that wave of it's absolutely awesome. And obviously nothing's perfect. It's again the mistake after mistake after mistake, the huge list of mistakes stroke problems that have been encountered is not acceptable at all in any shape or form. And when you tally that in with the amount of money they cost, it certainly is completely beyond. It's just crazy. I think it'd be an ombudsman job for me, gone to them and said, I'm rejecting this car, this is all the problems I've had, and you would run a field day with them. You just return the car and you got your full money back, definitely, possibly with some costs as well for the trouble. But because it's an electric car, you try and give them some hope, don't you? You try and help them out. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's a bit of a shame. I suspect that 90% of Teslas are absolutely fine, no problems at all. They're not all catching fire, but it can happen. And a side note to that warning as well: don't sleep in your Teslas like people do, because you're never quite sure whether it's going to kill you. Because I'm not sure the doors opened after. Once it caught fire and went up through the bulkhead, I don't think the doors operated. Couldn't get in. So yeah, you would not want to be in that inferno when it goes. You get no bulkhead or no real time to hide from it and to work your way out, because the aluminium melts pretty quick. Have a look at that. Melts a lot quicker than steel. Anyway, I'm off to work.